What? Oh. Okay, welcome everyone. We have everyone from YouTube and everyone from Instagram. And so, welcome. Thank you for coming today. So, Africa Tour 2025. Everything's still looking good. And I have had, I think I told you last week about working on a project that was the future of travel guides. Well, I have finished the first two guides. One is a free city tour for Accra, and the other is a 10-day itinerary. If you only have 10 days in Ghana, oh, I've packed it, but also with enough time to relax and enjoy. So, um, I've made a full itinerary, gives you everything you need to know and need to do. So if you're going for a short trip to Ghana, uh, that's great. And I say short because by the time you fly all the way to Africa, if you're coming from the U.S. And go back, that's like 2 weeks, but 2 days on each end for travel. Yeah, 10 days is kind of short. Ideally, 3 to 4 weeks is best. If you really, really, really want to see Ghana and you want to come up north and do more than just race through Mole National Park, which I don't recommend on a 10-day trip, but 3 to 4 weeks is great. 3 weeks can do it. 4 weeks will get you almost everything you could possibly want to do in a single trip. Okay, so I was going to try and show you that page. Let me see if I can show you. There's not much to show on the page, but let me tell you this. The company I'm doing it with is called Thatch, T-H-A-T-C-H. And I'll put a link in the description. And they have both an app, and you can do it on your laptop or desktop. And as I say, the maps are all fully interactive. So what happens is I go through and I say, hey, you should go here. And then I put a bunch of information on that site. And then, you can have it on your phone. And then as you're walking around, you can say, or driving around, whatever. You can say, okay, where's next? Okay, here. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then you have all the information you need about the place. And that includes my personal recommendations, like little things you want to make sure and see and do, like when you go to Independence Square in Accra, they have the Black Star Gate, and you can climb to the top. You can go up the stairs to the top. It's only 60 steps. It's a well-made staircase, so I highly recommend it as long as you can. That's within your ability. But little things like that, and that's just one aside, or it might be well, this is good, but watch out for this, or be sure not to miss that. And I get to put all that stuff in there, which is really cool because that's really hard to portray in any normal guide. And yet I also kept the descriptions in that fairly brief, nothing overdone. But I like that I was able to give a lot of personal tips on these maps and guides. And I think this is just really the way it's going in the future. I mean, it only makes sense. You get personalized tips from someone who's been there, and it's so much better than sometimes you look at travel content and it's like it was either written by an AI or it was written by someone who hasn't been there. And there are a lot of travel sites that the people know how to write generically enough that they'll look up the information on a place and then regurgitate it, but not actually have been there. And there's a number of sites that do that. And I really like the idea of being able to connect with the person that bought the guide, because then they get the real, they get all the details and little extra tips and that. And I just really like the idea that I'm helping someone more than what some generic guide could do. That was one of the things I liked about the old Lonely Planet. And I'm not saying the new ones don't do it, but I think even they're discovering that like the old guide system doesn't work that amazingly. So I don't know that they're updating things too much. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it used to be that you'd get a Lonely Planet guide and it'd be like, yeah, go to this restaurant down, go down the corner from this hotel, go around the corner and down the alley, and there's a red and yellow sign, and it's in Chinese, so you probably won't be able to read it, but they have the best dumplings in the city. Yeah, Lonely Planet used to do that a lot, and they even in their newer guides because I do have them. Um, they don't do that as much anymore. They don't do those little personal, and I know things change quick. That little restaurant may not be there the next time someone goes, but it used to be really cool when they would put that stuff in. So I'm really glad because see now if I find out something changes, I can always adjust it or take it out if it's not accurate anymore. But that's really hard to do on a guide book that only gets republished every 5 or 10 years. The old style guidebooks used to go out of date almost as within a year of buying them. So I really like this new approach. That's why I'm doing it. I'm going to do more guides, and I'm going to do guides all along Africa Tour 2025. So every time I go somewhere, I'm going to put it in put a place, a marker on the map, and then after I've like covered an area, I'll create a guide for that area, and then I'll create a master guide for each country, that kind of thing. Depends on which country, because like Togo's a small country. I'll probably just have one guide that covers everything for Togo. But then Nigeria, I might have a guide for each state or each region. Um, and then, kind of like with Ghana, like if you watched my Ghana best 47 best things to do in Ghana, and I did it by region, so that if you're not going to a certain region, you didn't have to watch that section. I'd love you to watch the whole thing, but let's be honest, 47 things, and I covered it in like 50 minutes. I thought that was pretty good. But if you don't want to watch the whole thing, if you want to say, oh, I'm going here and here and here, then you can plan your trip really easy. But so a thing like Ghana, and as I say, and I broke it up into smaller videos, uh, but there's a lot to do in a lot of different places. So the bigger countries will I'll make guides like that on Thatch. I'll make, a guide that covers this region and that region and that region. Whereas they say a small country like Togo, I might just do one guide that covers everything because usually you get a 2-week visa and you see everything in 2 weeks. So um, that's what's been going on there. I was really happy to finish that. And then I started to do things like getting into Instagram, and I was going to post a story and then about the guide. So if you're following me on Instagram, I'm working on getting some new content made for Instagram. That's in the works. Hopefully that'll start coming out in the next couple of weeks. And I would have said this week, but there's always got to be a complication. Today is of complications, and so Instagram there was my stories were on a setting on Instagram that it could only be seen by close friends, and I'm like, why is that? I go to change it. I can't change it. I've got to do it through Facebook. Well, a couple of years ago, I got booted off of Facebook because I tried to set an account up for Tim so he could keep in touch with his family. And I set up Tim's account. I found myself and I said, hey, why don't you send me a friend request? As soon as I sent the friend request, this was like within 5 minutes of opening the account, not realizing that, I don't know, they said, we don't think you are who you say you are. Bam, they shut down his account and just said, nope, we think you're a fraud. And then I tried to say to customer service through my account that, no, that was legit. That's my husband, and it was legit. They didn't even send me the thing and give me a chance to complain about getting this request, And they just said, no, that's a fraudulent account. And somewhere after that, they started saying I wasn't me. And then I proved to them I was me. I sent a little video or something like that. And then, so they took me off once. I got it restored. And then I was on for like 10 minutes, and one of Tim's nieces had graduated college. And I put congratulations and dropped a couple of friendly emojis. And then like a couple minutes later as I'm scrolling through my feed, they're like, oh, you violated community guidelines. We're banning you again. And so I thought, okay, but then they had an old phone number on file and they would not let me verify through anything but that phone number. And because I'm changing phone numbers every time I leave, I change countries. I should have done something different about that at home, and I made that a mistake on that. But I get a new SIM card every country. So so they wouldn't let me back in. So I've been off Facebook for like 2 years now because I tried every route that I could find to fix it. Well, somewhere in there. Um, so with this other problem with Instagram, I thought, well, maybe I can figure out a way to start do a fresh browser, fresh email, start a new Facebook account. And I went and did that. Well, evidently I had tried to use this email before, and they said, so I was in a new browser and I signed in with Google. And then the next thing I know, they're like, oh, hey, welcome back. We've reactivated your account. And no, this is not my original account. This is a brand new fresh slate account. And I'm telling you this because I'm going to show you, because I'm using it primarily for This Gal Travels and Africa Tour 2025. Okay. And I'm telling you this because I'm about to show you the artwork on it, because I'm going to ask you to go to the page and give it a like. Let's get the ball rolling because I just got this set up. So I'll put a link in the description, but the page is called Africa Tour 2025 dash This Gal Travels. So let me show you what that artwork looks like so that you can make sure you're on the right page. And so that's the artwork. That is the artwork that's on the page. I kind of like it. I think it's pretty good. But I tossed that together last night, and so that's my Facebook page. So do me a favor, go find Africa Tour 2025 on Facebook, and as I say, then hyphen This Gal Travels. And so even if you can't get a link, it would be really great if you could go and give me a little follow and a thumbs up. The profile picture is coming up a little blurry. It was something I just snapped in a restaurant, so it's obviously a little. It's not as sharp as it could be. Let me say it that way. So yeah, if you guys could pop over to Facebook and give me a few likes, a few follows, that kind of thing, I would really appreciate it, just to get this page rolling and started. I would really, really, really appreciate that. I'm umming a lot. All of a sudden, I'm umming a lot. It's been one of those days because all this rigmarole. See, the whole point in starting the Facebook page was simply so I could link my Instagram. I want to link my Instagram to the Facebook page, and I want it to be separate so they don't try to link it to that account that they banned, even though they banned it improperly. Getting through to anyone was impossible. So now, though, I have to do this piecemeal because I am so afraid of getting banned again. I'm trying not to do anything too quickly because I don't want to lose the Instagram too. And so this is what I'm doing is I had to take an old phone number off the Instagram account. So now the Instagram only has an email, but now I want to change the email to the one that matches the Facebook thing, so that when I go to link them, it's like a fresh start. And it hopefully won't link to the one that they banned, and they won't say, oh no, you batty, you're not supposed to do that. So as I say, I never did anything wrong. It was just a screwed up system. And so I've had one of those days. I go to the Facebook thing works. Okay, so I try this and I try that. And nothing was quite working the way it should, but it's going, but I've got to go slow with it. And then I've been having those problems all day. Everything's been going, it's all the computer stuff, all the technical stuff is going a little bit wrong. And see, this is where I guess I should tell you, I'm not going to be doing a country roundup today because I was going to do some research before I popped on here. And I kind of looked up and it's like, oh wow, it's 2:30, and I usually start my prep between 3 and 3:30 for coming on here and making sure everything's set up. It's just like, oh, that's not enough time to do research. So today's not a research day. But yeah, I've been doing other little things too. Well, as I say, I've been trying to, like, Thatch kindly provides some marketing materials, but I've got to adjust the colors in Canva, but it's not a Canva template. So I got to fudge things here. I've been doing a lot of fudging and working and workarounds and stuff like that lately. And so I'm going a little nuts with that. And I might, after this, I might just step away from it for the evening, because right now it's going between 4 and 4:30 right now. So it's about 4:15 right now, and in the afternoon. And oh, by the way, though, rainy season has truly come. It is raining almost every night overnight. Sometime during the late night or early morning, it will. It's been raining and raining good. Good hard rain. And this morning it was raining all the way into the wake up time of the morning. It was really cool. It was really nice because it was thick, heavy rain. Um, and so the rainy season is completely late, but it is completely showing up now. And we're having some daytime rains too, so it's fun because I like some daytime rain. But it's also raining, as I say, almost every night overnight. So rainy season has arrived. It's finally here. Don't know when hot season's going to start now, but hey, enjoying the rainy season. You know, nice. It's nice and cool right now. It's about 86 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 30 degrees Celsius. And if you didn't see it on the YouTube channel, last week I went to the Damba Festival. Now this was absolutely the best Damba Festival that I have been to yet. The first year, the Damba Festival was like 3 days after Tim's funeral. And so I was not in a good place. I went because I thought I should, but I was not in a good place. So I did not particularly enjoy that. Last year, it was at the park. They have a big park in the center of Tamale here, and it's used for every big event. And the thing is I was trying to get in and get pictures, but there was a lot of shoving in the crowd. Like, I know they would push people back and all that, but the shoving seemed really excessive. I'm not quite sure why. And partly I wasn't quite ready for that much, and it was really nice because there was a guy there that was doing his best to keep me from getting swamped with people. Ghanaians are like that. They're very nice and very considerate. But it was a rough one last year, and I almost didn't go this year. I almost didn't go. And I texted Abdullah and said, this is today, right? And he said, yeah, you're not here? And then basically he came and picked me up because it would have been really hard to get a ride into town at that point. He came and picked me up and took me down. And for a little while, we lost his son. His son is 9, and somewhere in the crowd, we got separated, and I looked and I was like, where's your son? He went off looking for him. It took him a while. He was fine. This place is really safe. A 9-year-old walking around on their own is completely fine. Heck, people, send their kids much smaller than that. Not off crazy distances, but like if there's a market area, they'll send them across the market to get something, or sometimes a little bit down the street. That we have a street right over here where there's a bunch of stalls and that, and everyone knows everyone. And sometimes you'll see one of the younger kids, but usually it's like within a market or something, and they'll send them across the way. But that's the thing here, though, is everyone keeps an eye out on everyone else's kids. They still have the village thinking that everyone knows, everyone else, and everyone knows, the kids and all that. So there's always eyes on them for safety. There's always eyes on them. But that's the thing is, people are nice here. It's safe here, and you don't have to worry about these things. So yeah, we lost his son for a while, but he found him. But I was filming, and I filmed alive. So yeah, go watch the live now. It does get a little pixelated sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. The signal, it's just signal strength. Here at home, when it's working well, I have a fiber connection. It's one of the things I actually pay a premium for, because it's the only way I can function. Otherwise, things are really slow. I mean, yeah, they're slow. It makes it hard to work online when it's not running well. But when I'm off site, when I'm out live somewhere, then it's just as good as the connection can be. And of course, everyone's on their phones and doing stuff, so there's fair amount of the system is taxed. So the video is a little pixelated in spots. Okay, it's a lot pixelated in some spots, but the sound is good. So all the drumming that's going along with all the dancing you're seeing, even if the dancing is a little pixelated, and some of it's just crowd shots, because that's what was going on at the time. It was like something would happen over here and then a little in between, and I was trying to go from thing to thing that was happening. And so I actually did a live for like an hour because I didn't actually realize it was so pixelated, but and I got the whole finale of the whole thing. I got the big finale, the chief, chief's family and all that coming out, because what happens at the Damba Festival, one of the things is that all the sub chiefs in the area come and they visit and they pay their respects to the big chief. And that actually, the formal version of that happened the day before. This is the public facing celebratory version. And, some of them come in on horses and they come in with their entourage, and there's dancing and there's drumming, and there's, one of them was the guys in the big straw costume where the person's completely covered, and but everyone's doing things in their own, whatever their own tribal costume or traditional wear. Shouldn't not so much costume, but traditional wear is, and so it's really cool. But as I say, it's a festival, so things don't happen on any sort of schedule. As I say, this happens here, and oh hey, there's something over there, and there's something over there, and so that's what the live looks like. And as I say, it's a little choppy sometimes, but the sound was pretty good through all of it. So, and I think even sometimes when it's pixelated, it's not so bad that you're not getting the idea of what's going on, and sometimes it's pretty clear too. So, go check that out on the channel. If you go to my page on YouTube, This Gal Travels, of course. And you look under videos and just click on the ones that say live, and that'll give you it'll give you the live videos. And so yeah, that was a really fun thing to do last week. And then this was the other thing. I told you a bunch of little things were going wrong today, right? So my hat, and I found a place that does merchandise and that you can design yourself. And they had a bucket hat. They have an all-over print bucket hat. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to scan my hat and make a duplicate of it? If any of you out there are just loving my hat, hey, if you're out there loving my hat, give me a thumbs up. How about that? And yeah, no, but I thought it'd be fun to recreate my hat. Well, I took pictures of it and I dolled them up in Canva and I put it over in this merchandise platform. And first it tells me they had to enlarge the image, and then it tells me the resolution is too low. So I bumped the resolution, and then something else was wrong with it, and then this was wrong with it, and that was wrong with it, and then I get to what I think is the end, and it says, oh, you need to choose stitch color. There's nowhere to choose stitch color. I think what it was resisting is one of the images was still like too low of resolution, and that was its way of saying you can't go forward till you fix that. But it's like I'd fix one thing and then it would say it's okay, and then all of a sudden that wasn't okay. I'd go back a couple steps later, and that's what I've been dealing with today. So that's that. So it's been that kind of day. It's been that kind of week. But I'm thrilled that my guides are done. They're not, as I say, I'm going to make more. I will make more guides. But check it out at thatch.com, and then Trina Phillips, 2 L's like the screwdriver. And I will put a link. I will put a link in the description. But you can just look me up by Trina Phillips, and or you could probably just look up ACCRA, ACCRA for ACCRA, and you should see it there. But it's successful, but it's been a technical week, and Thatch, I love them, and they're a little bit of a new platform, and there's some glitches on there that I was dealing with all week. So it's been glitch week, okay? It's glitch week. That's what I'm going to call it. Just came up with that. Glitch week. And yet I still got stuff done. So I'm going to, again, I'll ask you if you can pop over to Facebook and like my new business page, Africa Tour 2025, This Gal Travels. And I'm going to put a link for my Thatch guides. If you would like to see a specific guide for a specific region, let me know and I'll see what I can do, because right now I'm focusing on Accra because everyone goes to Accra. Do you want one for the north? Do you want one for all of the northern region, or just Tamale? So yeah, definitely let me know what kind of guides you want for Ghana. And some people do things like, when you're in the right kind of place, you can sit there and say, oh, a wine tour or this, that, or the other thing, that kind of thing. Ghana doesn't lend itself to that sort of thing. I include a few food places, but it's not really like you're going to do a fufu tour, In Ghana, it's easiest to kind of just grab the food wherever you're closest to, most of the time. So, but if you can think of a type of guide you'd always be looking for, like, uh, it could almost be accessibility. Not that anything here is super accessible, but sites that are fairly easy to visit. If you have some mobility issues. Like you could certainly see Black Star Gate and Independence Arch, you just might not climb to the top, that kind of thing. If you did want me to do a fufu guide, let me know, or just a local food guide. But as I say, that one's a little trickier. But just let me know what you're interested in, and I'll see if I can at least start applying it, as I go on the tour. Everything I can learn is really awesome. So let's see. That's kind of it today, That's kind of it. As I say, it's glitch week. So I just wanted to let you know I've been working on stuff. I'm looking forward to traveling. I love Tamale. I love Ghana. And, I know I'm going to be sad when I leave, but I also love being on the road. Even when I went on that 2-month tour around Ghana, and you don't need a full 2 months, I was covering everything very thoroughly for the videos and such. And so I stayed longer than you normally would as a tourist. But, I love Ghana, but I love being on the road, and I love seeing new places too. I really love seeing new places. And so I'm really looking forward to this. I cannot wait. I'm excited. So, yeah, so that's where we stand. And so let's see here. I got the fancy stuff going on. I guess I got to close chat, and we're going to do this again. But yeah, so let me know if there's any kind of content that you want to know, questions you want to ask, or anything like that. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. And yeah, just let me know what you're thinking. Is there something that you want me to cover that I'm not covering? I know we haven't fully started yet. Or is there something that you're hoping I cover once I get rolling? Because I'll take notes. I'll put it in my notebook and say, make sure when I do this to do that. I'm happy to fill in the blanks on whatever you want to know. Because I want to make traveling easy for you. I want you to follow me and just enjoy following my trip, but I also want to hopefully inspire you to travel too. So let me know your questions, because I'd really love to help you out so that you feel comfortable and secure traveling here. So, okay. So we're going to end with that on signed off on Instagram. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you showing up, and I'll see you next time.